The Story of the Kind Wolf by Peter Nicol, illustrated by Yosef Wilkun. I expect you have often heard people say someone was as fierce as a wolf, as timid as a rabbit, as sly as a fox, or as wise as an owl. But not all wolves are fierce, any more than all foxes are sly, or all owls are wise. It is as silly as saying all girls are pretty, or all boys are brave. This is a story about a wolf who was not a bit fierce, and an owl who was very, very silly. It's called The Story of the Kind Wolf. Long, long ago, a wolf lived in a great forest. He had learned from his father and grandfather that it was a wolf's duty to keep the forest in order. If even a little hare ventured out at night into the open, the wolf showed his teeth and snarled fiercely, so that the hare was terrified and quickly hid in the thicket. One night, the owl left his nest in a high tree and flew down to the wolf. He rolled his big golden eyes and said, "All the animals are afraid of you. It would be better if they loved you for being clever as they do me. What's the good of snarling and showing your teeth? You ought to go out into the world and to learn to behave better." The wolf thought about what the owl had said and felt sad. "He is right," he decided. "I ought to go away." So he left the forest and moved into a cave a long way to the south and started a new way of life. He began to do a number of very strange, unwolf-like things. He picked flowers, gathered berries, dried herbs, and watched birds. The animals who lived in those regions shook their head. They thought he had gone mad. Of course, no one dared say so out loud. The wolf had hardly gone when the owl called a meeting and announced the good news. "Now there is nothing to be afraid of," he shrieked. "We can all do as we like." "Fine," thought the fox, and snapped up a hen. The owl was right. From now on, everyone did as he pleased, and there was no more peace in the forest. The fierce animals enjoyed themselves, but the timid and gentle ones were terrified. Winter came, and a very hard winter it was. The wind howled, and the deep snow lay over the ground. None of the animals could find anything to eat, and nearly all of them became ill. The owl, high up in his tree, saw the misery in the forest. He flew down from his nest hooting, "Save yourselves! Move about! Keep warm! Don't give up! As the saying goes!" "Go on," said the fox to the rabbit. "You heard what the owl said. Move about! Keep warm!" And when the rabbit did so, the fox chased it and gobbled it up. Just then, the wolf returned to the forest. He had learned a lot in his stay in the south. In his paw, he carried a suitcase containing healing herbs and berries. He moved back into his old home and put up a notice. "Dr. Wolf, medical practitioner, consulting rooms now open to receive patients." Once again, the owl flew off to warn the animals. "Beware of the wolf in sheep's clothing," he hooted. "Troubles never come singingly, as the saying goes, beware, beware." "Beware of the wolf," said the fox to a mouse, and when she began to run, he gobbled her up. "A wolf may lose his teeth, but never his nature," observed the owl. "How true," said the fox, and looked greedily at a moorhen. The wind went on howling, and more snow fell. The paths were completely hidden under the snow, and the animals became desperate. They huddled in the holes in the snow and felt bitterly cold and hungry. Even the fox became ill. He complained of dreadful pains in his insides, for his eyes had definitely been bigger than his stomach. But in spite of their misery, nobody dared consult Dr. Wolf. He sat in his surgery and waited. "They're still afraid of me," he thought, "and the owl only makes them feel worse. What can I do? I can't force them to come to me." Then he grew angry. "All right, stay where you are," he shouted. "I'll go away." He packed his bags and set off on his journey. He had almost reached the edge of the forest when he saw a very small rabbit huddled in the snow. It lay there, too hungry and frozen to move. Only its long ears twitched. "There's no time to lose," said the wolf. He picked up the little rabbit and carried it back to his home. He tucked it up in his own warm bed and made a strong brew of hot chamomile tea and honey. In no time at all, the little rabbit was well again. How happy it felt, and how ashamed. Was this the fierce wolf who ate up helpless rabbits? It shuffled its feet, thanked the wolf shyly, kissed his paw, and bounded away to tell all the other animals what had happened. When he heard what the rabbit had to say, the owl grew very excited. "The leopard does not change his spots," he screeched. "Once a wolf, always a wolf." He let the rabbit go free in order to lure us into his lair. He paused, expecting the fox to agree with him, but the fox only groaned. "I've got such a pain in my stomach," he moaned. "I don't care what anyone says. Just take me to Dr. Wolf." There aren't many stories in which a rabbit takes a fox to visit a wolf, but that's what happened in this one. The wolf looked at the fox from head to toe, and he prodded him in the stomach and said, "My friend, you are much too greedy. You eat too much. I'm putting you on a vegetarian diet. That means no more meat, just porridge or maize or apples, pears, plums, carrots, cherries." The fox felt so ill that he promised never to eat another piece of meat as long as he lived. The wolf tucked the fox up into bed and put a hot compress on his stomach. After that, all the animals in the forest believed the wolf's kindness and wisdom, and if any of them became ill, they ran straight to his surgery to be cured. Only the owl still felt uneasy. He kept repeating, "Once a wolf, always a wolf, you mark my words." But nobody listened to him. As for the fox, he was a much healthier animal on his new diet. He never learned to like salads, although in time he became quite fond of cherries, apples, pears, and carrots. Dr. Wolf eventually took a partner into his practice, and the two wolves could be seen on any fine day picking flowers and collecting herbs for their healing medicines. The